Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, again sharing some of Dina's latest release. So I'm just playing on a single page spread in the small craft journal. I have put some clear gesso on this page because I was going to be using the gloss sprays. So this is the new Peacock gloss spray, and you can see in that top left hand corner the difference between where the clear gesso is and where it is not, and the difference in the colour of the gloss spray and how it sits on the page. So I think, you know, if you don't mind building up your layers as you go along, then don't worry about the clear gesso. But if you want your gloss spray to go further, then this is a great way to kind of help the paint to not sink into the page quite as much. So far I've used Peacock, fuchsia, blackberry, and then this is turquoise, and I'm just basically just getting some colour on the page. I don't really have a plan, just randomly spraying it on. My camera is making that page look a lot darker than it actually was. So this is the new stamp set called Perfect to Me, and this little collection of 3 faces is really cute. So I decided I would create like a collage paper using this stamp. So I'm basically just going to stamp this on to the collage tissue paper using the black archival ink to create a printed collage sheet to use on my journal page. So you can see I'm just layering up the stamps next to each other, staggering them a little bit, and you'll notice 1 or 2 of the stamps are a little bit wonky, but I'm not really worried about that because this is going to become one of the layers of the page that once it's finished you will only have little pieces of it peeping through. So then I'm just going to cut it to size, and I'm going to cut a piece that will fit the whole page. You may well be wondering why I'm covering up the gloss sprays, and I think the thing is that some of the colour will peep through in a slightly more muted way once the collage tissue paper is glued on there. So then I'm just cutting it diagonally in half. I can't really explain why I did this. I don't really know. Must have had a reason at the time. I have no idea now, and particularly when I look at where the page ends up, this seems an utterly strange thing to have done. But anyway, it was what I did, so just go with the process. So then I'm using some matte medium to stick this down, and look, I've reverted to using a brush again. This is one of my older Dina Wakley brushes. So I recently went to a craft show, Craftorama in Harrogate, and came across a bin of Dina products and things that were reduced, and it was like Christmas had all come at once, and in there was a set of new brushes. So I treated myself to some more new brushes and decided I would use this one as a glue brush for now. So once that's dry, I'm then using this shape mashup stencil. Sorry, still got a COVID brain. And the Peacock spray, and just adding a little bit of spray through the centre there. You can't even see that I'd cut that gap now. So I just don't know. Sometimes I look at what I've done and go, what on earth did I do that for? But it doesn't matter, does it? It all adds to the layers and interest in the page. So then I'm using some turquoise paint. I'm keeping with the same sort of colour palette that I've used underneath the page, and I'm just building up some pattern in the centre of my page. And then I'm using some magenta through the same stencil with just a slightly smaller pattern. So I'm just adding more layers, more colour. Okay, so then this is one of the text profile stamps, and I'm just stamping this onto this spare piece of printer paper. This is going to be my focal image on the page. giving it a really good press down. And then carefully fussy cutting it out. And then as soon as I got it on the page, I thought, oh, it doesn't really show up brilliantly. That's a shame. It kind of gets a bit lost. So decided I would just get a little bit of white paint on a blending tool and create like a bit of a halo effect in the middle of the page, so that when the figure is on there, it was more against a sort of a white. You can see how it shows up better already, a better contrast with the black of the stamp. So I'm just keep putting it on just to make sure that I'm not going too far, because obviously I don't want to lose all that interest in the background, but I do want the focal image to be a focal image and not just completely disappear. So this was a quick way to make it fit better on the page. Then I had some paint left over, so of course it's like do a few splatters using my teeny tiny fan brush. And then just sticking this lovely text profile stamped image in place using my glue stick and just gently moving it into the correct place where I wanted it to be. And then I'm just using my Stabilo oil pencil and just going round the outline of some of the figure. I'm just avoiding that face part because I don't want to alter the profile of the face. There's some quite delicate features there and I didn't want to change those by sort of roughly dragging my brush around them. So just being very careful, you can see, and just pulling a little bit of colour around there and not too much. And that also helps to make that image just stand out a little bit more too. And then I've grabbed a quote from the collage, what's it called? Ledger papers, the ledger papers. And I've often said this, it kind of doesn't, it's not difficult to find a quote in there that will work with my pages. I've often got a thought in mind when I'm creating them, but like I've never struggled to find a quote that would work. So if you don't have those ledger papers, they're definitely worth investing in. And then I'm just using my fine tip applicator bottle with the clear glue inside just to stick these in place. And then I've gone in with my usual signature dots, using a large Posca pen, and then also going in with the Signo Uniball in white as well. Then I've also added a little bit of Asemic writing on the right hand side of my page, so just a little bit of journaling. The beauty of this Asemic writing is like nobody will ever know what you've written, but it had meaning at the time that you did it, so it's one of my favourite ways to journal when I don't want someone to know what I have been saying. Or someone or anyone. And here is the finished page. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create with some of Dina's new products. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.